The Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, has delivered some of the greatest superhero stories of all time, packed with action, humor, character development, and unforgettable moments. These films have connected audiences worldwide. After years of thrilling releases, here are the top 5 best MCU movies, ranked not only by their iconic storytelling, but also by their cultural impact and entertainment value. Spider-Man: No Way Home. One of the most ambitious projects Marvel has ever delivered. This film was more than an MCU movie. It was a love letter to 2 decades of Spider-Man films, uniting fans across generations. Why it's number 5. The multiverse storyline gave fans what they had dreamed of for years. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland all together as Spider-Man. Not only was it nostalgic, but it allowed the film to explore Peter Parker's struggles across universes, showing that at their core, all Spider-Men share the same values: responsibility, loss, and resilience. Willem Dafoe's return as Green Goblin was nothing short of spectacular. His dual performance as Norman Osborn and the Goblin brought true menace back to the MCU, and his fight scenes with Tom Holland's Spider-Man were among the most brutal in any Marvel film. The emotional weight of Aunt May's death, paired with her famous line about responsibility, solidified Holland's Peter Parker as finally becoming the Spider-Man fans had been waiting for. Unlike many films that rely only on fan service, No Way Home delivered real consequences. By the end, Peter was stripped of everything: his friends, his family, and public recognition, all for the sake of protecting those he loved. He became a lonely hero, echoing classic comic arcs that defined Spider-Man's legacy. In 2014, Marvel took a huge creative risk. While audiences were familiar with characters like Iron Man and Captain America, few outside hardcore comic readers had even heard of Star-Lord, Rocket, or Groot. But Guardians of the Galaxy, directed by James Gunn, won over audiences and became one of the most beloved MCU entries ever made. The film dared to break away from traditional superhero seriousness and embrace outrageous humor, offbeat characters, and wild, cosmic adventure. Star-Lord's antics, Rocket's sarcasm, Groot's limited vocabulary, yet emotional depth, and Drax's literal misunderstandings. This group of misfits brought a brand new energy to the MCU. Its heart also can't be ignored. Beneath the comedy and cosmic Marvel spectacle was a deep story about loneliness, found family, and healing trauma. Every character joined the Guardians with their own pain, yet together they found purpose. In one of the most emotional MCU moments, the Guardians, holding hands to contain the Infinity Stone, showed strength through unity. The soundtrack became almost as iconic as the movie itself. Awesome Mix Volume 1 Inch turned every scene into a celebration of retro music culture, while the action sequences synced with songs made for deeply memorable moments. On top of all this, Guardians of the Galaxy expanded Marvel's universe far beyond Earth. It revealed the Infinity Stones in greater detail, paved the way for Thanos' rise, and proved Marvel could succeed outside familiar heroes. Ranking at number 4, this film reshaped the tone of Marvel movies and showed risk-taking. Spider-Man: Far From Home arrived at a time when fans were still recovering from the finale of Avengers: Endgame. With Iron Man gone, audiences wondered, what next for Peter Parker, Marvel's most relatable hero? This film answered with humor, heart, and some of the most breathtaking visuals seen in any Spider-Man movie. First, the movie explored grief in a way no other MCU entry had before. Peter's struggle with the loss of his mentor Tony Stark, combined with the pressure of the world wanting him to rise as the new Iron Man, made this a film about responsibility at its core. Tom Holland beautifully portrays that duality, both as a teenager who just wants a vacation with his friends and as a hero who must rise to global threats. Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, proved to be one of the MCU's most innovative villains. With his manipulation, illusions, and psychological warfare, the villain pushed Peter beyond physical challenges into emotional and mental battles. The illusion sequence, where Spider-Man is trapped in layers of false realities, became an instant landmark in superhero cinema. This film also stood out for its mix of high school comedy and real-world consequences. The young romance between Peter and MJ added warmth, while the shocking ending flipped Spider-Man's world upside down. With the reveal that Mysterio exposed Peter's identity, audiences were left hanging on a cliffhanger unlike anything the MCU had ever done. Placing it at number 3 reflects how it masterfully transitioned Peter Parker into a hero burdened with responsibility, laying the groundwork for an even more mature Spider-Man in the next chapter. Few cinematic events have matched the spectacle of the Avengers. Released in 2012, this film was the culmination of Marvel's 5-film experiment, bringing together Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye into one movie. The sheer ambition and execution demand recognition. Before the Avengers, audiences had never seen such an ensemble of heroes from different solo franchises colliding in a shared storyline. Joss Whedon's ability to juggle multiple character arcs while also delivering a coherent, thrilling story was nothing short of groundbreaking. The Battle of New York set the gold standard for team-up superhero action. Whether it was Hulk smashing Loki with the unforgettable puny god moment, Black Widow's sharp combat, or Iron Man risking it all to divert a nuke, the sequences cemented this movie as an event rather than just a film. Fans filled theaters, returning for multiple viewings just to relive the ultimately satisfying team synergy. The film also solidified Loki as one of the MCU's most iconic villains. Tom Hiddleston's mischievous yet menacing performance elevated the stakes, making him more than a simple antagonist. He became a fan favorite whose actions shaped multiple phases of the MCU. Finally, the Avengers proved the MCU wasn't a gamble anymore. It was a legitimate cultural movement. Studios everywhere tried to replicate its formula, but none matched its perfect balance of humor, spectacle, and emotional payoff. It ranks number 2 for its historical significance and flawless execution of what once felt impossible, uniting superheroes into one unforgettable adventure. At number 1 is Iron Man, the film that started it all. When Marvel Studios released this relatively modest project in 2008, no one could have predicted it would lay the foundation for a multi-billion-dollar universe. Without it, there simply would be no MCU. Why it's number 1? Iron Man is more than just a superhero movie. It is the blueprint for the Marvel formula. Robert Downey Jr.'s performance defined Tony Stark as a charming yet flawed genius, capturing audiences with a balance of arrogance, humor, and redemption. His journey from a weapons manufacturer profiting off war to a hero realizing his responsibility is brilliant character storytelling. The film also did something few superhero films had achieved. It blended grounded realism with comic book fantasy. Stark's technology-driven journey made superheroics feel logical, accessible, and believable. The Iron Man suit's first construction scene in the cave still stands as one of cinema's most inspiring hero origins. Beyond the narrative, Iron Man launched Marvel Studios' bold strategy of interconnecting films. The post-credits scene with Nick Fury introduced the Avengers Initiative, something that felt revolutionary at the time. This small tease reshaped Hollywood, sparking an interconnected storytelling model that studios everywhere tried to replicate. The cultural impact cannot be understated. Iron Man turned a B-list Marvel character into a household name, and Downey Jr. became the heart of the MCU. From the technology, to the tone, to the confidence in long-term vision, Iron Man earns its top spot, because without it, the entire MCU collapsed before it even began.